Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 699 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Vander Taco Malta, and joining me today in Pretend Low Earth Orbit is Rob Roseman.
Hello.
And Chris Tabona.
Hi.
Gentlemen, it's Friday.
Yep.
Yep.
Do we have?
Sure
is that a good day?
I'll let you know.
You guys are both really busy this week. Is this weekend going to be no worse or no better than a work day?
I've got a list a mile long. So I've got surgery on my shoulder late next week, and so I have to pack in all this stuff that I can do with two hands.
Fortunately, everything I have to do is one-handed.
Well, I've got all the ski gear to repatriate to their proper spaces in the house, and so I'm just surrounded by all my crap from ski trips, and
Yeah, I just have buckets overflowing in many different areas. So.
All the buckets are full. All the buckets and nobody's got spoons.
Yeah.
The first thing that we had on the list is, I guess, the good news that the voice of Bender has confirmed that he will be joining the Futurama reboot, which I read an interesting little bit about that, which is the entire rest of the cast agreed that they would be paid, all of them, the same amount of money for the show.
Well, that's nice.
And that's why DiMaggio wasn't coming back. Apparently, he wanted more.
So did everyone get paid more?
I don't
for
know.
him to come back.
I don't know if they've announced that.
Or did DiMaggio go, well, it's better than nothing, I guess. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I don't know what the economics are. They don't talk about that for some reason.
But
well,
I mean,
especially as we've gone to streaming, you get less and less real numbers
Oh, yeah.
out of these production houses. So,
how do you have the reboot though without Bender?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
And he's a lot of rando other voices too. Oh, okay, he's just burnt out. Well, let's see.
In the meantime, I'll be in New Orleans shooting Interview with a Vampire. I guess they're doing a TV series?
Great.
Oh, that'll be awful. Huh. Bendergate. Oh, God. Do you remember when we cared about this kind of bullshit? And it wasn't about, nuclear Armageddon in Ukraine. I wish I could be like, wow, this is an important issue, but
when I've got, a number of tabs open and one of them is like the live stream of a nuclear power plant being shelled, I feel differently about whether or not Bender gets a raise.
Yeah, I don't, imagine not caring.
Oh, there you go. Good switch.
Yeah, I figured, this was appropriate.
Yeah. For those of you in the podcast audience, Mr. Dubona has just switched his green screen from a asteroid to a Chernobyl.
Yeah. The Chernobyl power plant. Anyways, so yeah.
Well, I'm excited about our new Futurama, but if only because it's one of a handful of shows that my kids and I can all watch together with pleasure.
I liked Futurama, but I'm going to say the thing I always say, which is, it's okay to let some things go out on a high note. That's all.
Now that said, South Park is back, and I think they're doing fine again this year. They managed to do a whole Ukraine episode.
Yeah, I didn't see it yet. Is it good? Did you link it? I didn't see a link.
I didn't actually link it, but we were just on the subject, so I figured I'd mention long-running TV shows and Ukraine. It seemed like schismatically connected. It was fine.
Yeah. Was it fine?
It was all about the Cold War and the nostalgia. It's actually a lot more moderate than you're seeing in a lot of the media, which is interesting.
Well, I guess the Trey and Matt, they're super into Putin, right?
They definitely were not super into Putin.
I wonder if they have like a list of countries they shouldn't go to. Or go near.
Well, they can never enter any Chinese-controlled lands ever again.
China. Yeah. They probably shouldn't even overfly the damn place.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right. Okay, so I shared with you guys, I've never seen this, but the screw-in coffin.
I had never seen it before.
I'd never seen this diagram, and it's extraordinary.
It's something.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because they leave a little bit on top, and that's the tombstone.
Yeah.
So
I like that. I mean, in some countries they do bury people vertically, which is way more space efficient.
well,
But just the idea that you would be buried in a giant screw is pretty cool.
the thing is, I don't know. Has anyone actually been buried in this thing, or is
I
it all
hope
just
not.
demonstrations and crappy AMC shows, American Inventor or whatever?
Honestly, I don't care. I just think it's cool.
Yeah.
But I've had a long-standing policy that when I croak, I want my body donated to science. Do anything useful with it. I don't care.
Yeah.
This just reminds me that I have to replace my mailbox soon, and I'm going to go with this screw-in variant instead of the bury and cement this
That's a
time,
good
I think.
idea.
It reminded me that I wanted to check in with my dad to find out if he still has his auger. So next winter
Yeah.
I can go ice fishing.
I got an auger. I'll let you
Yeah.
borrow.
Sweet. All right, Chris, you shared with us more information about your Blackhawk crash in the ski resort.
So here, let me bring up the video here because it's very exciting. Is this a YouTube video? No, it's a Facebook video. Barf.
Oh no.
All right. Well, here. So what was really cool about this, though, is they actually show them removing Blackhawk, because a lot of people thought that they would end up, keeping them there for a long time, but they brought in these big heavy lift guys to pick them up. And the thing I want to point out to people and the podcast listeners, so the reason they crashed is they ended up getting snowed out, right? And their prop wash disoriented them, and then they ended up hitting the ground. And then the propeller on the first Blackhawk hit the other Blackhawk that was following way too close. And so
to
they
take a
both crashed.
selfie.
Oh, they're so dumb. And this is 150 feet from the ski lift. This could have gone way worse. Like if they had cut the lift line, if they had hit the base station of the lift, thousands of people.
There's a lot of dumb here.
It was so dumb. And it was as clear as it is in this video. It was clear as it was crystal clear when they came in. But they came in low and fast, and they just blew up all this loose snow and ended up crashing. So anyway, so you have this guy in his Sikorsky heavy lift, duocopter, and he's they're rigging up, and you notice there's no snow blowing around. Think about this. It's like,
because he's high.
the conditions have been really pretty rough. They've been really warm, so there's not a lot of loose snow. But yeah, so they hauled it away.
It's neat footage.
Very exciting. It's super neat footage. So yeah, so here's the one in the center of the screen is the one closest to the lift there on the right, and then the one on the left is the other one. So,
it's
but
nice.
They held them both out.
It's nice that the footage that we're watching this from is from another helicopter or drone, but this guy is at a safe distance. He's not really, really close, so that they can get a sweet selfie and get those likes and subs.
Yeah, like and subscribe.
Oh, that reminds me. Geeks in Space listener, please like and subscribe and share this with your friends.
That's hell of a video.
That's right. Amblue actually just noted that MST3K season 13 is coming out tonight for the backers, and I am embarrassed to say I did not actually backer it, so I'm gonna have to figure out how to pay for that, because it was real convenient last couple seasons being on Netflix. I binged those things real hard.
Can I ask you, was the new season any good? Because I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
I enjoyed just fine.
Yeah,
there were a couple episodes in particular that were pretty funny.
Yeah,
the rest was for me just pretty standard fare.
Yeah,
okay.
But we look at the early seasons, I think, with rose-colored glasses too. There's a
sure, there's
yeah,
they're not all gems.
Nope,
for sure.
Yeah. Mike and Joel.
Yeah, I do not. They are not all good, and we were talking about this last week too. The pacing of the jokes on the new episodes is like, I don't know, 20-30% faster. So even though they don't hit as often,
they have more.
There's a lot of them. You watch an old one now, and you're just like, holy crap! Nobody's just like minutes at a time, where nothing
talking. Is happening.
Yeah, that's no fun.
Well, I remember my favorite was probably the Phantom Creeps. Pre-episodes. Those were pretty good.
I kind of tend towards the shorts. I liked Posture Pals.
Yeah, that was Posture Pals. So good. Wow.
the spring sprite.
Ooh.
Yeah,
All the Christmas ones.
the shorts are really
Santa versus
good.
the Martians.
Oh my gosh, somebody made a device called a posture pal that I guess vibrates if your posture goes crappy. So
That seems safe.
I Googled for it.
Well, since
Look at that crap right there. Posture pals,
Yep,
baby.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a great one.
It's so good. I mean, but if you think about it, isn't it nice that these kids are going to help each other have good posture?
Yeah, I have terrible posture right now. I'm slouching.
Yeah, me too.
If I adjust, my face won't be perfectly framed. And I'm actually in my MST3K background today too.
Oh, you are. That's true.
Okay, so the war has been in interesting places lately.
Yeah.
Nuclear power plants, hospitals, orphanages. But it's also taking place on Yelp and Google restaurant reviews and Google Maps. There was a story yesterday where somebody had changed the names of hospitals and orphanages to funeral homes. And who knows if it was a hack or a mistake or what? But this is they're having to shut down these sorts of services because they're all bombing each other. And I don't mean weaponry
Yeah.
bombs. I mean
I know.
news bombing or review bombing, which is it's really weird how the fog of war extends into these sorts of virtual spaces. I'm just weirdly fascinated by it.
Well, for me, the social media involved with this conflict is something that I really haven't seen before. And for me, some of the most powerful things I've seen have been those little shorts, like the John Oliver clip they had with a old lady handing out sunflower seeds to the soldiers, telling that when you die, at least flowers will come from your body. The video of the guy offering to tow the tanks back to Russia when they ran out of fuel.
So
there's all kinds of little clips of people, just citizens coming up to soldiers and giving them shit.
Mm-hmm.
The ones that I thought were interesting this morning was they were doing man on the street interviews of just random Russian citizens, and they just don't know what's happening. They're not even allowed. The media can't even say the word war or invasion. So it's
15 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. But also I have to bite my tongue because we are obviously only seeing one side of the story too. So who the hell?
It's okay to assume that Russia's a bunch of jerkbags. I'm
I'm
going to give you permission this one time.
I have a general rule, which
thing.
is if your country is in another country killing people, you're probably the bad guy. But we are also only seeing one side of the story. There are other things happening that we are not aware of. And the Ukraine PR game is on point.
Oh.
Like, are you accusing the Ukraine of having like monkey soldiers that they're unleashing on the Russians, Rob? I mean, what conspiracy do you think is happening?
No, it's not there's no conspiracy. We're just only seeing the propaganda from one side. Who knows what is happening?
Well, I would say that now that people have started cutting off the Russian accounts, the number of anti-vax, weird posts have kind of fallen through the floor.
I cannot wait to see the reports and the studies that all. I mean, I'm sure you guys follow people too that like track, malbehavior on the social medias. It's going to be really interesting to see.
Cliff's got something.
Oh yeah, exactly. It's going to be really interesting to see if that's quantifiable because it anecdotally seems quiet.
Yeah.
But
so much better.
But I also, my advantage is that I only follow a very small number of people on Twitter. And I actually block a lot of the people that I do follow because they talk too much.
And it does actually hurt our feelings when you block us. Just speaking for Zen and myself.
I don't block either of you. But I hate to say it, I do block Cory Doctorow and Neil Gaiman.
Because they text a lot.
They post, like, Neil will post like 50 things a day. And it's just there's just and it's all pictures of people celebrating that they went to see his play. And I'm like, that's great. I'm excited for you, but I want to read anything else right now.
Yeah.
And Cory does all those pictures, like his flashback stuff. And there's so much of it. Like, I want to see his things that are about today, not about his things that are from forever ago.
Yeah.
And I have a dozen people like that. I don't unfollow them. I just mute them.
For a while.
Yep.
Can you mute temporarily on the Twitter? I always just mute forever.
So I don't use the Twitter client. I use Tweetbot, which has like a 30-day, and I usually just do a 30-day. And then with a lot of those folks, in 30 days, I'll let you go until I'm sick of you again, and then I mute you again.
Sounds about right.
But there are a few people that I have put on permanent mute, just because, like, I like you, but you talk too much, and I cannot have that much. Like, I don't need 50,000 tweets in my day. A few hundred is plenty. Rob, you shared. We've got a Jurassic Park scenario thing happening with the Aussies.
Yeah.
The Aussies are going to bring back a new tiger.
Well, the Tasmanian tiger, the Thylacine, went extinct in 1936 officially, although people say they still run around some areas, Rob.
Is that like
what I'm concerned about? No. What I'm concerned about is eventually once we clone the mammoth.
It's a marsupial.
Yeah, it's the largest marsupial carnivore that was
Wow.
around. People blame them for killing sheep, so they killed them all.
Oops.
As people do. Anyway, I'm worried that once they bring back the mammoth, imagine how many of these things a mammoth could hold, right? And the doom that we'd have when, an angry resurrected mammoth shows up carrying 40 thylacines that just launch off its back. It's like an aircraft carrier. We're in a lot of trouble. That's all I'm saying.
We have a friend who was watching dog racing recently. The snows where they have like 12 dogs, and I wonder if you could do that with these guys.
Oh, the Iditarod?
That's dog sled
Dog
racing.
sledding,
It's
yeah.
different.
Yeah, it's very different.
Different than like Greyhound track racing. But like, I
Right.
wonder if you could get like these dudes to tow you around Tasmania.
No, they're not
they're more
big
likely to
enough.
eat your face off, I think.
They're about a really big one's like the size of a medium-sized lab. So, probably not.
Yeah. Listen, I got to tell you something. So, I live on this island with coyotes and the rest. And my cat's an indoor cat. My neighbor's is not. And so she asked us if we had seen her sweet cat around.
Oh, Snowflake.
Olivia. And so I went to the video and I went through and I scrubbed through when the cat went missing. And I found the cat. Yeah.
Eagle or coyote?
Coyote. 3 coyotes. And I was just like, yeah. So I called her. I told her what had happened. I was like, I'm never showing her that video. My wife's like, I can never see that video. And I'm like,
yeah, you don't want that.
I get it. It was because I was worried, I wanted to make sure that it was over, or if I have to go find some poor suffering cat on the property and look after it, It's not good though. Yeah, they ended up hauling the remains away with them.
We keep our cats indoors because cats are not native to this area and they should not be outside. But we live on a pond, and we used to have swans that lived there, and they're beautiful creatures. We loved watching the swans for years, and then the coyotes ate their nest.
Swans?
It killed the mama and ate her eggs, and so now we don't have swans anymore. And what really sucks is that the reason that we have coyotes is because there used to be a golf course near here, and they're in a lawsuit and shut down. So all of the golf courses,
there's one right near your house.
Yeah. All the land is growing wild, and there are now coyotes running rampant through that land. So I definitely ain't letting my cats out.
No way. No way. Yeah, but we've had bar owls, we've had eagles, we've had all kinds of great stuff around here, but cats never allowed outside.
Don't like the fucking eagles, man.
Eagly. All right.
Eagly. Rob, were you the one that shared the AI detecting mental disorders, or was that Chris?
No, I did that.
That was him. And really what this is a refinement of Zen's career. at Slashdot.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. They're
Did they consult with
automating
you on
it.
this? You know?
I don't know. I'm dubious as to how well this would work.
Yeah, this seems like
Yeah.
woo.
But I mean, wouldn't it be nice, right? Wouldn't it be nice if they could diagnose some stuff just by what you write or what you share and all those things? But
Yeah, you searched for Vladimir Putin. Did you mean to search for Prozac? You know. Yeah.
But not even that. I imagine that with a large enough data set of somebody's tweets, you could probably get a pretty good diagnosis and for a lot of stuff. And then the question just comes down to, are you able to is the persona that they're putting out into the internet the real person, or is it the performance of the social media?
Yeah. Right. Is it the actual person, or is it the representative, as I call it, that the person is on the internet?
Yep.
I mean, this is kind of based on the diagnostic book that if you're a psychiatrist, that you go, and I mean, it's doing that same thing. I'm just not sure that it can do it precisely or as precisely as a medical professional. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure a medical professional can do it that precisely.
There's a lot of these things that are floating around. Like there's the stuff about developing or testing you like early detection of Parkinson's based on your walking gait with your watches and your phones. And there's the stuff with they're having a pretty good detection rate for like dementia and a couple of other things just by listening to podcast audio. Like it's going to be interesting. We're going to probably see at some point in the future, just like now deep fakes are essentially tools that you can download and with minimum effort. Bye, Rob. With minimum effort, you can we could deep fake somebody if we wanted to for a few days from now. So we're going to get to a point where people who are mad at Tucker Carlson or mad at Rachel Maddow will run those diagnostic tools on them and use them if they can find anything. Use them as I don't know if you call that slander. I don't know what it would even be. Who knows? But that's going to become something that people use as troll bait in the future.
Yeah, it's true.
And I'm sad that we lost Rob just in time for Joe versus Carol. Oh, there's Cliff.
Well, I sent the article over to Cliff because he can tell us if that paper is bullshit or not.
Quick, based on 3 seconds.
No problem. I'm good at that.
That's all Dr. Lampy needs. Welcome back, Rob.
Welcome, Cliff Lampy. Welcome to the show.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to all 5 of us.
I mean, this has been something that a lot of people have worked on, which is basically like, trying to detect mental health disorders through posts and social media and everything.
Yeah.
So like one of my colleagues at Georgia Tech has been doing this for a while, Munmun Chaudhuri. I think there's a disconnect between kind of what the science reports on these things and what the paper can actually show. Yeah. Right. Like I think one wants to be super careful about making like assumptions about complex mental models and mental health disorders based off stuff like this. But at the same time, diagnosis of mental health disorders in a clinical setting isn't like precise by any stretch of the imagination, right? There's no like
much of psychology isn't all that precise.
Well, and for good reason, right? Like there's no like, protein decay that tells you what your bipolar disorder is going to look like or anything like that. So it really does take a little bit of, training and skill to do that. Yeah. Computer assisted diagnosis I actually did my undergrad thesis on computer assisted diagnosis, and it's always been a bit of a mess.
Did you use the words Dr. Google in your thesis?
I am so old that was before Google. So
oh my. So
Dr.
Alta Vista? Dr. Jeeves.
No, this was like you guys forget how old I am. This was like Dr. TRS-80.
Oh,
I know how old you
You're
are because
not
I know
that
what your first
old. Come
paper
on.
was.
Dr. CompuServe. There you go.
Yeah, that's right.
That's about the right thing.
I guess the other thing too is that with a lot of this, like I imagine like dyslexia, things like that, you probably can diagnose stuff like that, you know, relatively more easily, right? That seems like the sort of thing that would have indicators, but like autism is one of those things that that it seems like you could probably get a pretty good diagnosis if you had a large enough sample size. But then the flip side of that is that your Asperger's type person over a lifetime develops coping strategies that mask it, so you can't. It's really hard to diagnose. You know, the Asperger's end of the autism spectrum in adults.
And it raises a bunch of really interesting ethical dilemmas in a lot of ways too, right? Like your
Yeah.
hope would be that this is an early detector and then the AI hands it off to a human partner
Right.
to follow up and see what's real or what's not real. But I just had feedback on a paper where they didn't like this idea of trying to detect people's internal states online for moderation purposes,
Mhm.
because then you get into kind of like pre-crime area,
Yeah.
right? Like Minority Report. Like, so can you basically, like, is it right to say people have a propensity to be like, to commit a crime or to be mentally ill or whatever that is? And it's also tough because, it's not like mental ill is a binary switch, right?
Right.
It's like it's an on-off thing. My old clinical psych professor, who was a mentor to me, used to say that mentally ill is defined by how much you bother other people, right? Like that's what
Yeah.
defines mental illness, and it's a mess.
Cliff, did you watch Picard?
No,
Oh, there's a new one out. That's right.
I
Ugh.
did.
I did too.
Oh,
I just figured if Cliff was here,
please let us tell us, how did it go? I'm not going to watch it, so it's
Uh,
you're not. There's no spoilers here.
So I don't know if just that I expected to be absolutely terrible, but I didn't think like maybe the first 3/4 of it was really all that bad.
I
I thought,
agree.
oh, this is reasonable. But then at the end, it kind of lost it for me. At the end, it gets into a
How
really
did it, did
weird.
it start time traveling or something? Or?
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, bingo, kind of. And Q shows up,
Ugh, I hate
and it's like young-looking CGI Q at first, and he's like, "Oh, you've aged. Let me age too." And he
Oh,
clicks
that's
his
lazy.
fingers,
They did the
and
same thing
then
with
he's like,
Guinan. They had a
"Guinan, yeah,
justification for it.
That's so
Just-
dull.
You know, my problem with it, I had two issues with it just practically. Besides, I thought that the last the fact that we're gonna do a Q thing, I don't care about in the slightest. But my first problem was that clearly this season of the show is going to have a theme of why did Picard never settle down and find love?
Oh, good
and
God.
and so literally every single person that he talks to for the first 30 minutes of the show is something about why didn't you find love, or him telling somebody else to go out and experience life. Like that is it's just like, we get that that's the theme of your show. Did you have to tell me 37 times before you get to your plot? And then my other beef was that the last sequence of the show takes place on the Stargazer. And Star Trek fans know what that means, but it's not the Stargazer. It's a completely new spaceship that they're calling the Stargazer that's integrated with Borg technology. And they have him coming on board to the ship, and he's like telling things like, "Boy, this sure has changed since I was here, and it's different." And I was like, "Yeah, it's a different ship. It just has the same name." Like, come on, man, this is lazy. Like you're cashing in on the nostalgia, and it pisses me off. Call it a new ship.
I think what you're missing is that the original Stargazer had like 2 nacelles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this one has 4.
Well, and it's a brand new ship.
So it's better because it has more nacelles, right? So it has to be faster.
It just made me mad. Kirk is not nostalgic if he's walking around on the Enterprise D. You know what I mean? Like, cool, this is a new spaceship. It just has the same name. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
I did not like the first season so much. I may not watch the second. That's saying something for me. It's the same.
You didn't make a vow for Star Trek, so
I did not.
No.
And it's the same trouble I have with like the new CBS one, the new, what is it? The Discovery.
Discovery, that's rough.
Yeah.
I think the tone is wrong.
Sometimes it was okay, but then when it wasn't, it was terrible.
I kind of like the first season quite a bit.
Yeah,
and then
me too.
I finally put
it just went out so off the rails. They think we care about things we don't care about, like Section 31, you know, and
tonally, for me, Star Trek's always been a little bit about hope, right, or aspiration at least.
It's not about a grinding end.
I don't need more Grimcore from the Star Trek universe, right? Like I got other properties for that.
I am tired of huge segments of Star Trek being people talking about their feelings and how the person who has the most feelings is the one who's right.
Yes, because we do know from AI research that feelings are not real.
It's like, come on, man. This is like, I get it. Like, you got a needle, like, but that's bouncing between Spock and Deanna Troi. But like, maybe turn the needle like 1 or 2 degrees back towards the Spock, because like, I don't care if you're gonna cry for 10 minutes. That doesn't make your position correct. But in the story, it always is, and that just makes it tedious. Like, oh, good, they're sad. That's what we're gonna do now.
Star Trek General Hospital.
Yeah, Star Trek emotional trauma. So Rob, did you end up watching the Tiger King show, the new one?
I have not.
Me either.
I didn't even know that it was out already.
Oh, I thought it was. I thought that you were the one that said that you wanted to watch the first episode.
I didn't even watch Tiger King.
No, I was talking about that terrible superhero thing.
Oh yeah, what was that? The Justice.
Oh, Guardians of the Justice.
Guardians of Justice. Right?
Derivatives of Justice, or whatever.
Cliff, you should watch the first 1 episode of that.
It's weird, man. It's like, so for good and for bad, it's like a community theater re-implementation of somebody who watched The Boys while drunk and really liked Justice League.
See, I think it's a little different than that. I think it's somebody who watched Justice League, but hasn't seen anything else since then, and hasn't realized that there's been 50 shows about an evil Justice League.
Every once in a while, they do something that's really kind of neat, and then you're like, "This is a terrible show." You know, it's like
I just saw that, and it has good voice actors, right? Like it has Greg Griffin and a few other like really talented.
It's got Jane Seymour in some inexplicable role. It's a weird effing show, dude. It's so weird. And it's got like a little bit of a Farscape feel. What's that?
Andy Milonakis was in the first.
Yeah.
Chocolate water.
And it's got Christopher Judge from Stargate as the president, and he's just hamming it up. I'm like, what is going on in this show? It's weird.
It stars Diamond Dallas Page. So how can it not? I mean, if you're gonna watch a horrible sci-fi show with bad special effects and almost no cohesion, I suggest you watch Sky Sharks. Sky Sharks is fabulous.
Sky Sharks?
What's it on?
Sky Shark.
What's it on?
Oh, dude, I have
Blumper.
no idea.
It's on Blumper. All right. Sky Sharks. Oh, it's a movie. It's rated R.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it is on Amazon Prime.
Excellent.
Watch Sky Sharks.
All right, I'm excited. I could use some pure joy.
So this is their Batman analog, Cliff. I don't know if you see this.
It's black screened.
It's not showing it.
Copy protection.
Darn it.
The thing that's cool about the show that doesn't work though is that they're mixing together. There'll be scenes where people are talking and it kind of looks like Zoom call level performances. And then it'll be animated, but like traditional 2D cell shaded animation for a few shots, and then there's shots that are just pixel art.
Yeah, it's like what it's like.
It's all over the place.
It's like they had 8 different people shoot the entire series in a certain way. They each gave them 20 grand, and then they just edited it all together.
Yeah,
like my 9-year-old discovered filters on Photoshop.
Yes,
it's collage, and like. So I think about Into the Spider-Verse, where there was a consistent tonal thing where they were trying to blend animation, film, and comic books. I feel like they were trying to do something like that, but just failing. I give them all the credit in the world for the try.
Well, I will watch the whole thing.
You will watch one episode.
It won't take very long.
They're only 20 minutes.
I thought that too, but I can only make it through 3 episodes, man. And you know I can sit through a lot of
I've gotten
garbage.
through 3 episodes. I'll try 4, but
I watched 1, and since I know that Rob's out, I'm not going to continue.
Yeah. And he never does yoga. The entire show, he never does yoga, which is just stupid, you know.
So
weird.
I just wanted to share this with you guys for the game. This is an important note. Elden Ring, they figured out anti-piracy. They're
Wolverine claws on their Batman. It's so weird. It's like, what? They're just like, throw it in the blender. Hit puree, you know?
damn. All the characters are just like, it's the same thing. We've seen 50 versions of the Justice League. They're all exactly the same as the Justice League. You got your Superman, your Batman, your Wonder Woman, your Flash. You're just
They
flip-flopping
have
the
their
powers.
Green Arrow. They have the everything.
And that gets into, like, yesterday we were in a meeting where somebody mentioned Planetary as a series. And that is something that I would love to see as an adaptation, right? Probably cartoon. Like, I think you need to do that as a cartoon, but I think that'd be a fantastic set of stories.
I'm just afraid that it's too late for that now. Watchmen. No, I love Authority, but I think we've seen 50 versions. Authority was early, but it's like after Watchmen and all this, like, what are you gonna do? Everybody's cribbed from them for so long that it's not gonna feel fresh or new. Watchmen, the TV show, kind of had a lot of that problem too, right?
That's true for Authority, but maybe not necessarily for Planetary.
Oh, I'm sorry, I get the two mixed up, didn't I?
Yeah.
But I mean, I guess they have similar problems. They're the anti-hero. They're the anti-Justice Leagues. There's a million of them now.
Yeah, as we started our board meeting yesterday, Cliff and me and then Charles all went full comic book nerd.
Dean of Engineering for Georgia Tech.
Yeah. I mean, one of the brightest lights in computer science, and we're talking about Planetary. We're talking about stuff.
It's good stuff.
It was a good call.
I'll be helping them when we're trying to get us back on track.
Good luck with that. So anyway, Chris and Rob, I just wanted to show you, they figured out how to stop piracy. They named the best, in Elden Ring, I guess the best mount in the game is named Torrent. So anytime you try to search for a torrent for the game, you get information about how to acquire the best mount in the game.
That's
so you got to name something really cool in the game, Torrent, and like go through all those keywords and you'll SEO circumvent piracy.
Well, we could have just like a river or some rapids.
But you got to make it something people will search for and need to search for, want to search for.
Well,
because you to skew
we'll
SEO.
put something special inside it, like a Manimal Cache or something.
It's got to be essential. Like that's the key, right? Anyway, I thought that was
Stuck
just the
in dryer.
thing.
People search for that a lot.
What's that?
Stuck in dryer. People search for that a lot. Like,
nope, that's not
Is
real.
that a sex thing?
That's something different.
That's something that Cliff likes.
I can't get from out of this chair.
That's right. We already did the space junk thing, but it's going to hit the moon soon. That the thing that nobody knows what it is now, because like maybe it was SpaceX, maybe it was an old booster. Now they're arguing about what it was.
It's Iron Sky. It's Nazis, I bet.
Yeah, it's
Nazis
definitely
on the moon.
Nazis.
Why
doesn't Putin denazify the moon? That's my question.
Something else that's better to watch than Champions of the Guardians of
Guardians of Gahul's Justice. Yes. If they're all played by owls, that would be a choice.
Yes.
Magnum just shared the Batman Wolverine Fusion Dark Claw. Have any of you read it?
God, no. What is this monstrosity?
It's what
I
happened.
have seen it on some of the comic forums.
I have too. I've never read it.
It looks like Liefeld did the muscles.
Look for the feet.
Yeah.
Look for the Liefeld.
They're hidden, you know. So.
I hope he has a lasso that makes you tell the truth. Or it makes you lie. Right? It makes you lie.
Yeah.
That way you can still tell what the truth is, right?
Yeah, it's the rope of deception.
Right.
You know?
It's the rope of those two statue things in Labyrinth.
Yeah. The liars.
All right, gentlemen. Do we have anything else that we need to get off of our chests before we go about our busy days?
No.
Thanks for coming, Cliff.
Yeah, thanks for,
thanks for updating us on the state of sentiment analysis on the web.
Yeah.
I really appreciate it.
Geeks in Space audience members, they come here for the academic response.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, we are authorities. We might as well exercise said authority.
It's very rare, though, that I think we talk about things that are within our expertise.
Oh, are you kidding? We talk about it all the time.
We talk about our hobbies.
Well, our hobbies are our expertise.
Oh, there you go.
It's, I mean, all of our hobbies became our careers. I mean, think how weird that is,
That is
right?
weird.
That's not normal, you know?
That's true. All right. Well, goodbye, Chris DeBona.
Bye.
Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Goodbye, Cliff Lampy.
Bye-bye.
I was Rob Commander Taco Malta. That was Geeks in Space 699. We'll see you next time, episode 700. Whoa, bye.